Hello. Hello, hello, hello. You guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Oh my goodness, I love that. Miss Victoria.
How are you, sweet pea?
Oh my goodness, I am great, and I've missed you immensely. So it's so good to hear your voice right now.
Same at you. You look marvelous, darling.
All right. Who else we got?
Lanny.
Lanny, Miss Lanny. Oh.
Yes, and isn't it wonderful to hear Victoria? She just did an amazing call.
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh.
Oh, she was awesome.
I heard it was about, what'd you say? It was like, don't quit?
Well, it wasn't about Unstoppable. She's doing that one tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, okay.
Yes.
All right, Miss Victoria. We are so proud of you.
And back at you, girl.
All right. All right. Who else is on? We have a couple more people. So Tom's been traveling. He's just getting back. And we've got Denise is going to be hosting the call today. There she is.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're excited. Denise, I don't see your camera. Are you going to do your camera? I'm just saying. All right. Who else do we have on here?
I'm here.
All right. Perfect. We just can't see you.
I just took a, oh, hold on. Huh. You gotta start the video.
Oh, right. There you go. I know. I've done that like just recently. Okay.
It used to always come on automatically, but now I have to actually push a button.
It's something that they added to their, added to the program or something.
Yeah.
It's all different now. So.
Yes.
All right. We just lost somebody on the, I think it was somebody calling in on the phone. All right. So go ahead. We just have a few people on here today. We just wanted to make sure because Tom was still, traveling back from San Antonio and had some meetings, and so filling in. But go ahead, Denise.
Well, Marianne and I were talking, and we have like a few people. But, basically we said, well, we'll hop on here and just check in with everybody. And really what we wanted to do is just say, ask you guys, like, what is it that how could this Zoom be most beneficial, and what do you want to be trained on? What would you like to share with the group? We have so many talented leaders, and it's silly to not take advantage of your expertise and your talents, and so what is it that you would like to share? Is there anything that you feel especially proficient in that you would think that the group would benefit from, and what would you like to learn? So I just kind of wanted to put that out there and make this more of a conversation around that, and just see what you all think. All three of you. No, I'm thinking. And this was last minute because we didn't know where Tom was, what he was doing, and so we may end up getting more input later on from people that watch it after it goes up. But that's kind of what we wanted to do, right, Marianne?
What I was going to say is we could customize this, and we could just say, hey, we took a vote, and everybody voted yes, whatever we decide. No, because there's just 4 of us.
Yes. Right. It was unanimous.
It was unanimous, right? Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so that's so if we don't get more people on because this was last minute, then we may want to just kind of table it until next week, or you can email me. I'll put up my Denise.
So Victoria, How are you? What's
I'm pretty good. But
Yeah.
I can tell you, Denise, you look amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. This is a swimsuit cover up that I'm wearing over my tank top. It is very, it's knit and it's so, I like the colors on it, so I just threw it on today. Thank you.
Well, you know what it
How are
is?
you doing?
Your hair, your glasses, and your red lipstick.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Seriously, you look fabulous.
Well, you're a doll. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you recuperating?
Can't wait to get my last drain out. You know, I don't know if you've ever had to see anybody with a drain. Oh my God. But I'm getting better every day. Truly. I'm getting back to myself, and you know, it's still a struggle. It's probably another few weeks before I'm really got it together, but I'm getting better. So that's what I'm focusing on, getting better. And I've had time, and I'm taking the time to reanalyze my life, the things that are important, how I need to reprioritize my life. That's kind of one of the trainings I did today was literally creating my life in a little bit different way that I do it,
Oh, nice.
you know, so.
And what was the major aha for you?
Well, I've had a lot of those, but
I know.
literally I have to create it different than I was doing. Like my routine before was literally 4 a.m, get up, my feet dropped on the platform, and literally I was on my way to the office, and I never left till like 10. And so I didn't exercise. I didn't take care of my spiritual well. I didn't take care of my physical. I didn't do all those things I needed to do. So now I'm back to creating my day in bed, creating my evening at night. I'm thinking more about my frequency. And remember the last Zoom call with Ariazi on there? And he was talking about frequency. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I've taught that for years, Victoria, but you need to embrace this stuff you teach, not just teach it. And so I've really been looking at how I can stay more in that happy zone, because I realized I stay fairly depressed most of the time. I don't embrace joy. I don't have that much joy. So what I'm doing here continue the next 4 weeks of this healing is to find those joy spots, even if it's 30 seconds, and coach myself and have other people coach me. And I look at lots of YouTubes. Esther Hicks, I love Esther Hicks. Have you ever watched her stuff? She channels Abraham. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Oh,
She is absolutely the best. You got to do a YouTube thing on her.
writing it down. Esther Hicks, huh?
Esther Hicks, and she channels Abraham. And everything with her is about vibration, frequency, and she's a real cut to the chase kind of gal. And sometimes you read her stuff and you're like, or listen to it, and you have to re-listen, because we're so conditioned to be to do the negative and to do the, and there's so much negative news and anger and blah, 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 that it's good to reassess what's important and maybe the 5 top things that are important.
Yeah.
I'm literally redoing almost everything in my life, because it may have worked for me okay before, but it really didn't work. I don't think I'd have had to have a hysterectomy. You know? I mean, it just, I wasn't, bottom line is it's about finding the joy and emanating that joy and being the best I can be. And not just reading all these books I read every day and all these newsletters I read every day, but learning more to embrace them and then transmit them out. What we talked about today was being that transmitter tower that they talk about in The Secret, and transmitting more of the happiness, even if it's just for 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and being conscious of every thought that I transmit, because that's what's going to bring us the wealth and a better healthy body and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, look at that green drink.
I started, for a while I was trying to juice, and it's just so much work. So now I just started buying them.
Cleaning a juicer is as much work as the juicing part itself.
That's the thing, and I do the essential or whatever our new green thing is. I do that in the Fit Shake every day too. But just drinking, like I'm not good at drinking water, and so this keeps me drinking liquids too.
Yeah. I bet you're excited about your new house, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Lanny and Sharon came over the other day with 4 lavender bushes for Ray's memorial, my stepdad, and it's so exciting because let's see, what's today, the 8th. Yeah, in 2 weeks we'll be able to get over there and spend some time. So that'll be fun.
So you're gonna live where you're living? Do you know yet? Or are you gonna?
I think we're going to be able to live in this house here and redo that house. I think we've been able to move some monies around so that we'll be able to get a construction loan without having to sell this house on the front end. We'll sell it on the back end, but so that'll be nice because then we'd only have to move once instead of twice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Moving is a real challenge. Yeah, and the stuff you collect, because you've been there a while, haven't you?
Yeah, like 16 years. And so we've already gone through a lot of the, like all the crap catchers, I guess, like the attic above the house and then the attic above the garage and then the basement, all the stuff that becomes like I don't know what to do with it, throw it in here, and so we've already gone through a lot of that and gotten rid of a lot of stuff. So yeah, whenever we do move, part of the hard work's already done. So yeah, and the other thing I wanted to hi Lanny. The Martha Beck talks about we're so used to this mindset of hard work, like you said, getting up at 4:00 in the morning and working until 10 p.m. and that's what's sort of expected of hard work. And she's been writing a lot lately about, I would say the last 2 years of her life, this last 2 years for her, where she switched her mindset to the more I play, the better work I do. And so it's really an interesting paradigm shift in that, she just says really for her, like working for 90 minutes and then going and playing, whatever that looks like, going and playing for a couple of hours and then coming back. And she says that she's more productive now doing that than when she was just like, blinders on and sitting there for 8 hours. So, and I believe that to be true because from a, being able to pay attention and being on for that amount of time is really hard.
Yeah, definitely. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's, it's hard. It's something that I've shared with Tom because, he's the sort of person where, that hard work
exactly
equates to long hours and, that sort of thing. But really it's like, I think that his walking has even transferred over to Steve Wallach, who's now walking in the mornings. And, so I think that it's really a healthy introspection to do what you're doing.
It is. And it's not necessarily going to be an easy one, but I'll tell you what, I feel that if I really honor myself in 2017, 2018 and beyond will be incredible.
Yeah.
I just because I was raised in a family that, at age 10, I worked with my dad. I didn't play in the summer. I worked with my dad.
Yes.
He owned 5 companies, and I love work. So, and I don't have any clue how to play. So it's so interesting to me that I'm with a man that's his expertise is playing. I think after all these years, I'd be better at it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Kids. He like the other day, they were up on this balcony thing, and they said, "Pop up, look up here." So he looks at the door, he looks on the floor, he looks everywhere, and they're laughing, "No, up here." And I'm thinking, they asked me to look up, I would look up.
Right.
I'm a bottom line girl, I look up. But he just does all these fun things, so I'm trying to learn more from him.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's learning, especially when, like you said, you got all your, early on yummy stuff with your dad was around work,
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
just
interesting.
your habits. I just want habits that most people think, oh, that's so great, but they really don't serve me. So it's a matter of redoing our priorities, I guess.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You've had so many people praying for you.
I know. I feel so blessed. I can't even tell you. I know there were times where it could be really rough. Like I was off pain meds right after I got out of the hospital, and they thought I'd be on for a long, long time. Because, all that stuff has such negative side effects.
Yeah.
When I weighed it all, I thought, so I'd rather take a little bit of pain. I don't want to be nauseous. I don't want to be constipated. I don't want that crap in my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm not good at it yet, I can tell you that, because balance is not my strength. But I think, every day we plug away at it. And have you heard, by the way, it's a good thing for you guys to know this, in Colorado, there's this place called the Wish Clinic, WISH. It's part of the University of Colorado, and they're like a Mayo Clinic.
Wow.
They are that highly recognized, and so I actually booked them 4 months ago before any of this stuff even happened to me. So I'm going on Wednesday to really, fine tune and check everything so I could, because unfortunately for me, because I didn't pay attention to my body, I'm backtracking. I'm having to take care of myself and walk and build up those, and do all the things that I need to do to get back on the other side of where I put myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
To know that place exists here.
And so what do you hope to get that happens on Wednesday then? What's the...
Well, I go to my regular doctor at the University of Colorado, which, by the way, they are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They are truly, they get it. In fact, one of my doctors kept saying, you got to go there. You got to go there. She said, because University of Colorado has a totally different concept on medical. I said, what do you mean? She says, they're the only ones that work as a team. In other words, because they're a research facility, if they can't figure it out, they bring in another team member. And then there's maybe 6 researchers that come in and talk to you. And I found that true with the hysterectomy. I mean, I went to the one gynecologist and she was like the senior teacher, but she said, you know what, this is beyond me. I don't know. So she brought in the head surgeon and then the surgeon, then we worked on it and we figured out what it was and blah, blah, blah. And so what they do is they have 10 or 12 people that constantly ask you the same questions but get a different slant. And then they just get all these different experts to look at it. And they do some holistic stuff too. Like they use iodine when you first get in.
Yes.
They use iodine in your nose because iodine is one of the best antibacterial, antivirus, and all that stuff. And so they use essential oils. They do all kinds of things like that. But the Wish Clinic, I just need a kind of an overall. I was making a list this morning early of all the things. I think my immune system's down or something. See, I've never been on antibiotics before. I have not been off of antibiotics since January. Can you imagine what my gut is doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I need to all this stuff for it. So I want to just get kind of a, what do you call it? A place to start.
Yeah.
With things and then work backward, and work with, the nutrition and be doing the right nutrition and that kind of stuff. So I'm just looking for clarity.
Good.
And this is something I learned too. Iggy goes to doctors all the time. And I used to always laugh and say, Jesus Christ, I cannot believe you go to all these doctors who say, but you got to look at it. He's now out of, like 2 years from his surgeries and stuff. You would never know he has an issue at all because it's every little thing. I mean, little things that a person wouldn't even think about saying to their doctor because it'd be a nuisance. He talks to them, they get tests, they do all this stuff, and he is, it's amazing how healthy he is.
Wow. Well, and it's smart, and especially because, both of you have, a wider vision of just than what the doctor says.
Right.
So you can you can discern different things probably a lot better than the normal Joe.
Right. Just using this as a baseline, and that's what
Yeah.
he used it, then he rules out. And I think Tom, I told you, I mean, he does Zumba. The number one thing for his stroke is Zumba.
That's what Tom got the other day. He's like, I'm going to do Zumba. I'm like, what the hell? I go, you don't have any rhythm to do Zumba. I shouldn't, but it's probably because of Iggy.
It has literally shifted his whole physical being.
That's so funny because when we were down in San Antonio, Glenn had some guests there. And she goes, yeah, she says, you know, Glenn used to do jazzercise all the time. I was like, what? I cannot imagine Glenn doing jazzercise, just like I can't imagine Iggy or Tom doing Zumba.
He tells me that it's the number one thing he's done to shift his stroke.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't even know he had it because he started out by not even lifting his feet and holding on. And now the girls, because it's all girl class, but him, now they're saying, Iggy, you lifted your feet, you know, and he doesn't hold on and he jumps and he does everything now.
Wow.
He says it works on every part of your brain. So I just think that's good information to know.
Yeah.
Something like that can be such a big help for someone who has a stroke.
Oh yeah, and it's joyful, you know, like I think that anytime you're in that place where you're not thinking about, you know, when you feel that, like if I'm in the car singing at, you know, the top of my lungs, that moment when you're like just totally in that sort of blissful state is so healing too.
It is. And she's driving her cute little Tesla and she's absolutely adorable. And
Singing totally off key, but who the hell cares?
Exactly. Singing, nobody's around.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. Hey,
All right, so we want this call to be more about vibration, more about lifting people up. Right? We'll tell Tom we're starting a Zumba and a jazzercise group to go along with it.
Yeah, that's it. Zumba. Gotta have that one.
The Zumba, for sure. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Big happening, let's just not have one. Do you know what I mean? If we don't have something really, if we haven't had time to prepare, you know, let's face it, there's a lot of calls in a week.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen and all the crap, and you know, just everything. So I've always said to him, if we don't have time and it's not a really productive one, you get on for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You just send a quick thing and say, hey, you know what, guys, we'll see you next week. I don't think people would conceive that as a negative.
No.
That is productive, don't you guys?
Okay, good. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah.
I don't think Tom thinks that. I think he thinks it's we have to be consistent, and I know there's a lot to be said for consistency, but I think people would be more appreciative if there isn't much going on, just to you know.
Well, and can I say something right along with that, Victoria? It's like the 1-star and above call. That used to be a scoop call where we got information to give to our people. And now it seems to be a training call and not so much information. So if they don't have something to tell us, then don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that, and the same with this one. If he's got something really important to tell all of us that we need to get out there to the people, then that's what we need to do. If we have questions that we need to ask him, then we also need to say, Tom, we need to do this today because I want to know these questions, these answers to these questions, and everybody that's on that Zoom can help us learn what the answer is to that question. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you could do, kind of an offshoot of what Lanny's saying, is maybe you take all those that Tom has on his Saturday radio show that blend really well with network marketing, and you have some of those special people on either this Zoom call or the 1-star. Because he's already got those contacts. Those contacts already love it. Because that was not like, you know what I mean? And plug some of those people in.
Okay, yeah.
This is a thought. In other words, we need to make them all interesting or get the hell off because there's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be
Right.
some meat going on. I agree.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you feel about like people training on specific topics for like maybe 15 minutes? Like our leaders.
I think that'd be good. There's a lot to be learned on all these. We've got a lot to learn, that's for sure. Seems like no matter how.
Well, and I think the training, like kind of like what we were saying at the, 3-star is it's a different conversation
Yes.
than the 1-star, right? It's a different call. It's a different group of
Yes.
people. And so, because we, wanting to know, okay, what's kind of that more top level stuff, which is what you guys are great at, Denise, you and Tom, what you guys have learned just over the last, the ANMP. Like I loved what you were talking about before last week. I think on one of the calls you brought up, 5 things to look for in a company, and, it builds
Yes.
confidence,
Yes.
right? And other things that are just more upper level, that where our mindset is and our thought process is, so
Good.
So
yeah.
what do you think the 1-stars need versus the 3-stars? And I totally agree with you that it's a totally different call. But what in your mind does the 1-star need?
I think they need, basic, well, on that call, I think that on that call specifically, people are looking more for, like Lanny said, what's going on in the company, what's coming up, what can I pass on to my teams? Whereas the 3-star feels more like more high-level training, leadership training, like you said, maybe bringing in special guests, and then also, talking about challenges where I don't think we really want to talk about challenges necessarily with the 1-stars because
No.
they're still, they're in the scheme of things, right? They're like kind of like toddlers just starting to walk,
Yes.
where they're just kind of like getting going. Whereas the 3-stars are like, they're in their first, sprint race kind of.
Right. We've got, putting leaders into place, coaching leaders, becoming better at what you're doing. And ironically, Trish and I were just down in San Antonio, we had that event, and then we have a small group down there. We got together afterwards, but yeah, I just realized even with having, conversations with them, kind of what their questions were. Well, I had this person and I spoke with them, it's very basic, well, what should I say? What tool do I use? Those kind of things. Those aren't the conversations that you have with the leaders. They're like, they already know what tools to send. They already know the interview. They already know that, but it's those other challenges and additional trainings and taking it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, tougher topics. No, I like that. Yeah, tougher topics, man. I got somebody on my team that is just tough. How do you work through some of those issues? How do you respond to tough issues in on your group even?
Well, I wonder too if we come up with topics on the front end so that, for the call and put it out, okay, this is what we're going to talk about.
Right.
Maybe 3 different areas. And that might be helpful too, because then people could say, okay, I'm interested or not interested. They could spend their time better if they weren't on the call, if they, if that wasn't something that interests them, or, that might be helpful too.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true too.
I like that, but I think you should put it at days in advance. Like we didn't put
Yes.
out a reminder today, and I think people kind of become dependent, even though
Yes.
I obviously have our brain fixed that we do one call, then we do the next. So we have that fixed on our mind, but evidently a lot of people don't because they are busy.
So if we let them know like on Friday,
Right. This week's call is this. Come up with thoughts. Send us your, anything you think you'd like to hear more about. I'll tell you the number one thing I hear
Yeah.
is they a lot of people
We lost you, Victoria.
Victoria?
There you go.
Okay. They are, I get a question about people being so overwhelmed because we have so many divisions, and they literally put that down.
Me too.
If it was a division on if it was a division just on all these different on nutrition, which is what it used to be, that was one thing, because then you just pick the one item, out of Rico Life and teach the purple tea. No big deal, but if you want this, that's what you got, blah, blah, blah. Just stick with the 90 for life. But now we've got so much. I'll never forget one of the Super Saturdays I had. I had this girl drive all the way in from Wyoming. We had a great Super Saturday, and that's when the services were just introduced. And she was into the nutrition. We talked a lot about nutrition, but we introduced the services. From that moment on, from the time she got back to Wyoming, she was doing a little bit before, she has not done a thing. She buys the product. It was too overwhelming for her. So I think there's got to be some, maybe people can give ideas on how we can keep them out of overwhelm. I personally just say, look, I do the 90 for life. That's what I do. We do the Z Radical 90 for life, blah, blah. I do the nutrition. And I also happen to like the services. So I add those in, if I'm somewhere that it seems appropriate. But other than that, I stick with the 90 for life, and I don't confuse everything. They see all this other stuff, and I don't know why they cannot seem to wrap their brain around, okay, I'll just stick with what I know. It just, they mentally sit in that category. Yeah, I keep picturing that, those raffle things that go round and round, and you like spin it and it stops. They are like stuck in this one thing of, oh shit, this is so overwhelming. I cannot figure this out. And I got to tell you, most of my leaders are in that category. And I'm like, okay, well then that must mean life begets life. So that must mean I've got confusion going on. I need to, because let's face it, you got to spend a lot of time keeping up on everything.
And sorry.
With the products, I used to, every time a company would come in, I'd talk with Steve. I'd go, okay, out of this product line, what's great, what should I, what's worth spending some money on to order. And anymore now, I'm like, whatever, I cannot keep up at all.
Yep.
So I feel the same way. I'm like, I get in there every now and then. I'm like, holy shit, look at all this stuff. I had no idea.
I know. And people are always like, what? We have toothpaste? Oh, we have this.
I know.
Another thing I think what happens, and it's not so much a bad thing, but I kind of get it, is you get on a call and, a great leader is talking about all the DAC loans that are going on. And then you talk to someone else and they're talking all about all the Mia Alicia stuff. And so, and ironically, this weekend I brought down the Mia Alicia to my ladies just to show them. And they were like, oh, I think we should be doing the jewelry. And I thought, oh, I just confused them, right? I just threw something in front of them that I knew they were going to love it, and they did. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want them to stop doing what they're doing because they want to do this other thing. So ironically, we're selling inside of Youngevity. We're selling all these other services. We're selling all these other things to all the other people, right? All the Youngevity people, and we're all getting all excited and we're buying all the stuff. So how do we put it into, okay, if you're passionate about this, move into this. But I think it was Stan Dennison that said, he goes, well, Tuesday's my DAC day. Tuesday, I focus on doing loans that day. And the other days are this day or that day or whatever. Because I think it's true. We can't get proficient in every single one of these categories. It's insane.
Yeah.
I think most people feel that way.
Yes.
So truly, I think bantering back and forth on that maybe would be a good topic, because it is, one of my leaders, I know she's out of the business. I know she is. She loves me, and that's why she stays. But I know I got to do something easier, Victoria. I just got to do something easier.
Mhm.
So, and she found something, by the way, that's a little easier. But our websites, this delay still, what's the latest on that? Is it really ever?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh, did you send that back over? Did you get a thing? We'll talk about that. I forgot about that. The beta.
Oh, me? I sent it to you. Yeah.
The second one, they sent you a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have that.
Okay.
They must be getting close. It's beyond. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like, it just, and I know that Steve is pulling his hair out because, the conversation was March 1st and then it was March 31st and now here it is, almost the middle of May. So I know.
It was April 15th and yeah.
Mentioned before that, yeah.
Yeah, it must be getting close now that, they're doing all the last minute stuff, I think. So, I don't even know what to tell you as far as there's not a specific day at all, I don't think.
Well, I know that Scott and I met on Saturday after I saw you, Denise, and I was telling Scott about the telecare and that I have the cards and maybe I should just go sit at the truck stop. And he looked at me and he said, I don't know anybody who has residual income from the services. And I thought, that's a good point, because unless you're truly into that and you're really doing those services every single day,
Yeah.
you're not going to have any money coming in.
Right.
You'll have a big amount here, but then a month later, you might have another big amount.
It's like being a real estate broker.
Yeah,
That's true. And
exactly.
they don't do well with non-consistency. And then they get discouraged because the
Right.
people not on the DAC that really like, oh my God, this sounds like me, and it was usually men. I have had to hold their hand every few days. I have to be sending them something. How you doing? Are you out there doing,
So here's something interesting, because we just did that team challenge, and the lady on our team, I was on the team challenge, and one of the ladies, the lady on our team, which she was our captain, she said, I do the DAC loans. That's what I'm doing. And we're like, okay. She said they count towards the whatever, and all that kind of stuff. She's the only one in the group that didn't qualify.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I think it's just such a big process. The rest of us got people signed up. They ordered the product. So, we qualified, got our volume, got our people, but she was still short. And I mean, she was working to get people to buy products as well, but she had a couple of events that she thought, would be really successful for the DAC loans, and those would, those would qualify her. So I thought that was kind of interesting when you were just talking about that, because it isn't a residual income, and that's a big difference. I mean, in $4, you can get the prescriptions or you can get the health care thing, but I'm not, I might hand some of those out, but it's not my focus.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Ariaza says every single time, we focus on the 90 for life. If you've noticed that in all his trainings, he says anything but that. And it's interesting to me, he doesn't even focus them on any calls. He keeps them away from company calls.
Yep.
The positive for him is that any of the drama that goes on, like with Andrea earlier, or anything like that, then he doesn't have to deal with it with his people, because he's the only one leading them down the path he wants them to go. And he only sticks with the 90 for life, and therefore they don't, now they do obviously the makeup a little bit and all that, but it's just like the makeup, it's great, but it lasts so long, again, that's not real residual income unless you're out there doing parties like that. So know. I just think somehow keeping men focused on the 90 for life is a good thing, but we need people to give us input on how to do that. It'd be good if we all shared, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We all have the same confusion factor going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, that just became really apparent to me when I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just did this.
Yep. And
Wow.
and then I realized, oh no, you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, Denise, I love your hair straight like that.
it looks darling.
It looks.
And I love your little, she's got to stand up and spin around her little coat that she has on because it's really cute. It's got little, got little danglies off of
I
it.
got, this is, who is, I can't remember who this is. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see, look how cute that is.
Oh, that's darling.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys, you're funny. All right. I think that this is all really good, and so I'll put it into an email, and then I'll pass it on to Tom. And I think that I really like the idea of having a little bit more structured so that people have topics, and that's something that I can help facilitate.
Good deal.
Well, and I think that people that are plugging into this, when you give them that one topic, they're like, oh wow, I want to do that. I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Everybody at the 3-star and above want to know more.
Yeah.
So
Tom mentioned last week about everybody having a Facebook team page, and me, I'm like brain dead on that stuff. Okay, well, I don't have a Facebook team page, although somebody mentioned it. I'm getting little notes here from the universe that I evidently supposed to have a Facebook team page. So, even things like that, or, we haven't even gone through the other day. I was thinking, and these are things I used to do on the Hair on Fire call all the time, but there's so many free websites. And like I emailed Sean, I said, which websites? And I'm thinking, no, there's more websites than that even. There's a whole strategy to all these different divisions and the different websites and who you contact. And oh my God,
yeah.
It's kind of, all that should be written down, but that's another whole subject. Anyway, I think you're all right. I'm not, I think you're going on the right thing. So
Cool.
Well, I love you girls a lot.
We love you, and thanks Victoria and Lanny for jumping on here. And I actually think that this was very constructive, just with the 4 of us.
Yes. Well, let's face it, a lot of us, we're leading the calls. So we know what a lot of these people are asking every day for different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
you keep getting better, Miss Victoria.
Yeah, well, and we'll think about you on Wednesday. I think that's awesome.
Sounds good. Hey, real quick, that leadership summit thing you guys are doing in June. What is the 6 to 9? What's the scoop on that? And then what's the scoop during the day?
It's Scott's overseeing it. The 6 to 9. You mean the night before?
Yeah, it's because it says Friday and Saturday both.
I think.
Oh, I was going to say, I've gotten a little email if you want me to forward that over.
Is that a dinner, Marianne, the night before? Or what is it?
4-star and executives are above. Dinner the night before, June 15th.
So that's like Thursday night.
That's Thursday night, yeah.
Then Friday night is the kickoff. They'll start with the meeting part. Friday night, and then it'll go all day Saturday.
Right, so it starts at 6 p.m. Friday till 9 p.m. and then 9 on Saturday to 5 p.m.
So what's this nice hotel? Although interestingly enough, that's when Esther Hicks is in. She comes in once a year. That's when she's in too.
Oh no!
Where is a nice hotel?
Well, that Embassy Suites is where he's talking about. And that is right next to the Budweiser Center, right off of Crossroads and I-25.
Has he worked at a special
It's a hotel too. I mean, Embassy Suites
Yeah.
is a hotel.
Yeah,
So I think there's some other hotels around there, or you can stay there.
Has he worked out a deal for the Embassy Suites or not?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
But I think it's still like 139, was it? Something like that. Per night.
In this email, it's 159. It says it's
Oh, 159.
a discounted room rate of 159.
That seems really discounted, doesn't it?
Are you joking or serious?
No,
I'm joking. That's the discounted price, 159.
yeah, I'm gonna forward this over to you, Victoria and Denise. And Lainey, do you have it? You need me to send it to you?
Sure.
All right.
Cool.
All right, ladies. Thank
Love you guys.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
I love you. Thank you for being on, Marianne and Denise and Victoria. You guys rock.
All right.
Oh,
Love you.
love you all. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.